Hello, my name is Nikodem Pluzek, and this is my video demo for my game, Dashtro. Dashtro is a room-clearing dungeon crawler roguelike. The central mechanic around this game is movement. It's very movement-focused, and in particular with the dash. So it's the start screen, let's start. This is where you start. This is the start room. It's relatively calm, and I want you to focus on the relatively well-laid-out tables here, as this will not be the same with the rest of the rooms. So the tables will be scattered around. So we can begin. I want you to focus on, there are two different types of normal enemies in this game, the red and the green ones. So the red ones are considered more elite enemies and they deal more damage. Also there are optional paths. Here I get to choose between left and right. I'm going to choose to the right. Down here, two more enemies in another room. One of the central mechanics in this game is the dash system. So there are three resources here to keep track of. Red, which is your health. Blue, which is the dash, which resets every 2 seconds. And then your coins here, which are awarded upon enemy death. This is a treasure room. It has an item in here which increases the player's stats. This one in particular increases the player's dash distance. You might notice now I dash further. One of these, as I mentioned before, the central mechanic is the movement in this game, and in particular this dash. As normally it has a 2-second cooldown, as you can see, but the cooldown also resets upon getting a kill. Just as there you can see there, for example. This encourages really fast and active movement and encourages skilled players to play around more, and they can really get some nice quick room clearing, as you can quickly dash in, get a kill, dash out, get a kill again, dash in, and get a kill and dash out, all without taking damage. Here's the last choice to get in the game, so you can take this left room or this room up here. This is a boss room. This is signified by these big imposing pillars. So let's go over here first. This is a shop. This is an area where you can get some items, and in particular it's important that you can get rewarded for clearing all the rooms, as if you clear all the rooms you'll have enough coins to buy every single item. These items you can heal for 20 health, increase your max damage. This affects the player attack.cs script. We can look at this later. Increases your max health. This affects the health.cs script. We can look at this later. And then also increases the range of your attacks. This once again affects the player attack.cs script. Now we can move over to the boss. The boss is a unique enemy that has a unique attack pattern, unique attacks. The boss has this attack where he flashes red and then charges, and if he hits a wall, he turns blue to visualize that he's stunned and unable to move. This is a sort of cooldown period at a time where it's safe to attack him. Right now you can see he's blue and he can't attack me as he's stunned. So the idea of this boss fight is to really encourage the user to use their stuns, to use their dashes, as if the boss charges at them, it will do a lot of damage. But if you can charge out of the way, you can quickly dash in, do a lot of damage, and then dash out. Right now I'm going to try my best to take advantage of that and make sure I don't die, as I am quite on low health. If you're able to defeat the boss within a lot of time, then you'll get floor complete and onto the next floor. I currently don't have another floor implemented, but if I did, this would be how you would move on to the next floor. The lighting here is controlled by several point lights over these torches. There is no environmental lighting, and all this is baked in, a mix of baked in and real-time lighting. So I want to take a moment to have a look at some of the scripts I've written for this. AI target, which controls how the NPCs chase the player. Boss enemy, which we'll have a look at later. A door script, for example. I have a few manager scripts here, such as coin manager, game manager, room manager, and shop manager. These are fairly simple, just managing scripts. For example, shop manager, operating how the shop works. I want to have a look at the health.cs script. This is quite an important script that's attached to all enemy NPCs and even the player. So a quick scroll through it now. If we look at the inspector for the player, you can see how it's attached to it. It's set to 400, which I think is still a level which is maintains the challenge, but also makes it not too punishing for new players. As I found with some playtesting, lower than 400 can make the game quite difficult. There's a few other important scripts attached to the player, such as the player attack script, which controls how much damage the attack does, the range, and the cooldown, for example. And then also capsule colliders and rigid body, which work with the WSD move script and the nav mesh. Player movement and collisions are done using the nav mesh agents component. The nav mesh surface is baked in, as well as for the enemy NPCs, it's a nav mesh surface. This ensures collisions between objects without manual collision handling. Then, as mentioned earlier, I touched on earlier slightly, the defining game mechanic of Dashtro is the dashing system. So the movements and dashing is completely controlled by the WASD move script. The cooldown is every 2 seconds. I believe this is long enough where it feels quite punishing if you misuse it, and quite rewarding when you get a kill and get the dash back. I like that this encourages quick and active game style. It encourages users to just get in there, get a kill quickly, dash around, maybe avoiding enemies, especially for the boss with the boss's charging based attacks. So this is the WASD move script that handles the player movement. So as the name implies, the movement is controlled by the WAS and D script, the keys, and the dash is controlled by the space key. The player attacks using left click and is controlled by the player attack script. This script controls the damage, the range of the attack, the angle of the attack, which is currently set to 90 degrees, and the cooldown, as well as the enemy layer, which is currently set to enemy. We can see the script here briefly. If I give it a quick scroll through, have a look at it. The attack currently does around 50 damage per attack, which is enough to kill most of the enemy NPCs in a single hit, but the boss will require more than that to die. The floor is structured as multiple rooms laid out in the same scene. Each room is a game object with a room script attached to it, as you can see here. This script identifies what type of room this is, whether it's combat, treasure, boss, or the start room. It has an element attached to which doors are attached to it. This is used for when the room is cleared. A trigger zone fires upon room entry. This is what moves the camera. When the player overlaps with any of these triggers, the camera is moved back into this room or first time into this room. For a combat room, get components in children is used to find all health components. So for example, this enemy NPC here has this health script component here, and it makes sure that all game objects with all NPCs with a health component have died. So an on-death event. Once the room has been cleared, that unlocks the adjacent rooms. There is no mandatory path. The only mandatory goal is to kill the boss. So I guess that means that this path here would be mandatory. However, there are a few optional rooms here to the right and this shop over here. There is some encouragement to fill out these rooms, as killing these enemies here leads to the treasure room here. Picking up this item obviously gives you the dash boost, as mentioned before, and then over here entering this room right before the boss will allow you to enter the shop and use the coins that you've used from killing the enemies before. Obviously that's another bonus from taking this right path here, is these extra 2 enemies here will allow you enough money to buy every single item from the shop if you would like. Now if we take a moment to focus on the boss, the boss uses a state machine with 4 stages: chasing, telegraphing, charging, and stunned. During the chase, the boss uses Navmesh agent pathfinding to follow the player, dealing melee damage when close, and after a set cooldown it transitions to telegraphing. It stops moving and flashes red. Sometimes this red can be a bit hard to spot with the lighting, but when it flashes red, as you see here, it charges, and then the blue indicates a vulnerable stunned period, as if it hits the player, it does not go blue. It instead is able to continuously attack and deal massive amounts of damage to the player, creating a game over screen if the boss is able to defeat you. This design, I think, directly synergizes with the dash mechanic, as you fight a boss with a similar advantage that you've had all game, as he's able to charge, but with the added bonus that this boss, if he hits you in his charge, will do massive amounts of damage to you. I think this helps the player finally use their dash to their full ability, being able to bait the boss into charging, then dash out of the way at the last minute, and take advantage of the stunned period to deal massive damage back to the boss. This is enemyboss.cs. Here is the enum for the state machine that tracks whether it's chasing, telegraphing its charge, in the middle of a charge, or being stunned. There are a few settings that can be changed throughout, whether it's the chase settings, how fast the boss chases. The charge settings, a few things can be changed to how much damage it does, its cooldown, the distance of its charge, the charge speed and its duration, then how long the boss is stunned for, and then just when the boss is regularly chasing the enemy, the player, how much damage it does, its range, and its cooldown. I'll give it a quick scroll here through the rest of the script, how it's been written and how the boss works as a unique enemy throughout the game. No other enemy is coded like this. The shop itself is a fairly unique room here. So there's a shop manager game object here with a script that handles a few different things. So the shop has a unique UI, an item container that holds all the items, item button prefab, and then the individual items themselves. These affect the user stats, whether it heals the current health, increases the damage from the player attack script, increases the health from the health script, or increases the range once again from the player attack. And then here are the assets I used, all from the Unity asset store. Low poly power-ups for the power-up in my treasure room, modular prison asset pack for some of the torches, boxes, and other items scattered around the rooms, low poly medieval market for my shop, the pack-free textures for some of the warm floor textures, low poly dungeon lights again for some of the items and assets, hand-painted stone textures for the floor, 3D game kit for the characters, and then grid box was for the original room layout. Here's an example of an animated controller. This one is for the player. So this one's quite simple, just idle and then running. Then the enemy NPCs would be similar to this one, except for also a close attack. And finally, I just want to say thank you for listening. Dashtro is a complete roguelike loop from the starting screen to the branching dungeon floor pattern and functioning combat systems with a shop, treasure room, and boss room. There are win-loss conditions if you win or lose, and there's the central dash mechanic is my main gameplay mechanic. I think it rewards an aggressive, skilled playstyle. I've got a few ideas for future work, but for now this is my initial prototype. Thank you for watching.